Hi guys, Dwight here, and I'm just back today with some footage of Eternal. I mentioned in my last video that I would be delving into some other games, and while I haven't really got around to looking at Gwent properly yet, Eternal is one that I've played a good few hours on now, probably about 15 hours all in all. I will be releasing another video shortly, which is going through kind of the initial session and the new player experience of the game, as quite a lot of that time is spent playing against AI, which isn't the best experience, but I'll go through that more in depth in my next video when I've got just some slightly better footage of how the game actually plays out mechanically in a game. What's so interesting I think about Eternal, and particularly the Gauntlet, or what it's called in this game is Draft, is that you pay quite a hefty sum to get in. It's 5,000 coins, which is the equivalent of 5 booster packs, or 500 gems, which is about $5. But when you get into that, you draft from 4 booster packs, a deck of 45 cards, or 48 I think it is, you pick about 12 from each pack. But what's interesting about that is that the deck limit itself is 45 cards, so you're going to be picking cards that you're not necessarily going to use. But what's really interesting is that you keep every card that you draft. So say you had the craziest draft you've ever seen, you pull something like 5-6 legendaries. While they might not make a good deck in the draft itself, they might not synergize in any way, shape or form at all, you might still want to take them purely for your own collection. Say, well, I'm done with this draft, I've got everything I could possibly want from it. The rewards in themselves are pretty good. I dare say that I'm not very good at it, being brand new at the game, and I only got two wins in both of those drafts. But the 2 wins both gave you silver chests, which are the equivalent of about 250 gold and a random card, and a gold chest as well, which is about 500 gold. These also have the chance of upgrading, but that's entirely separate. The purpose of this video really is just to kind of show off the draft format, how it works, how you draft, how not to draft. In the case of my first run through, I just thought I'd pick every card that looks cool from my personal collection and see what stuck at the end. Turns out playing 5 factions and not being able to spread your sigils or your power very well doesn't work out very well, but we still stuck a couple of wins in there anyway. So anyway, just take a look at this, see what you think of it. As I say, I think the game is very interesting. I'll have a more in-depth look at the game itself and the mechanics of it coming tomorrow, so hopefully it'll be enjoyable to watch, and I'll catch you guys again tomorrow. What I'll be doing this evening is, once you complete your first forge, or I did anyway, presumably it's the same for everyone, you get a quest to play a draft mode, and draft is essentially Eternal's arena game mode, I suppose, which you pay a hefty sum of gold to draft a deck, keep all the cards that you draft, and play against other players for rewards. I have read absolutely nothing about draft strategy or anything like that, so in all likelihood I'm just going to be as greedy as possible, picking up as many cards that I'd preferably want to craft if possible. So if I can do it and pick them up in this, then that's a way to save myself some dust or shift stone. But in all likelihood I'm probably going to end up with an awful deck. Well, I guess these are glowing because they're rares or commons or whatever you want to call them. Like I said, in all likelihood this is going to be a terrible deck and I'm not going to do particularly well, but let's just go through and see what we pick up. Seems bad. Don't ever see a situation where you want 2 or fewer influence, unless you just draw a desperately bad hand, in which case you have to draw this anyway. Seems good in combination with the Eye of Winter. Each turn do 1 damage to the cursed player for each card they drew or discarded this turn. Okay, so essentially it's going to do 1 damage a turn unless they run a draw heavy deck. And it also doesn't seem to be something that I'm going to have a whole lot of influence or power related to that, to fire anyway. It's really really difficult to draft when you have no idea really what you're doing. But so I take it just because it's rare. See what it does. See if we can get big fairly quickly. I like the look of this though. I like Backlash. Against an enemy spell sounds good, particularly if it can interact with fast spells as well. Plague would be nice if they were going to go wide. I feel like I kind of need some more units rather quickly though. Karmic Guardian seems good if this were to be a slower deck, which is looking like that. I don't know, it's only got one attack, but Flying Lifesteal and Endurance, if I were to pick up a weapon or something like that to buff it, could potentially be problematic. Reliquary Raider otherwise seems pretty solid for 5. Draw a card when it attacks, blocks you gain 4 health. Already got a feeding time, I don't know how many pigs I really want to go up against. Torch is probably the best card here. Torch again, or Piercing Shot? Torch, I think. All of these are kind of bad, except maybe Teleport and the Stranger. Got some Stranger synergy, but not a whole lot. You probably do need more units though. Seven Guardian seems okay. Win. I don't think I'll be lucky to even get one win here. I'll take this Stranger just for the Stranger synergy we've got somewhat pulled together. Say synergy, I've got 3 of them, good enough. Spell Swipe seems a fairly good card. Like, if you both stop a spell and draw it yourself, then get yourself card advantage and kind of mess with their plan. Very expensive though. I'm drafting an awful lot of expensive cards. Nothing here seems really very good, but then what do I know? Brand new. Haven't really got enough low cost units here, I guess, to make Vault the Praxis work. Have some high health minions. So maybe Healer's Cloak works. Something like Icebreaker. You know, give it some attack potential as well. Really am just picking the cards that seem most interesting, even though this deck is probably, in all likelihood, going to be absolutely awful, as I've said multiple times. At least builds my collection, I guess. And I get a chest at the end of it, which has got to be the end goal. Yeah, I know I've got to make a deck out of this at the end, but I could, well, it will be what it is. Maybe we get a win or 2. In all likelihood, probably not. But we get a chest worth harsh roll all day long. Take one of the other Strangers for the sake of potentially being made deadly with the one I have, and the extra influence. I don't really have any weapons to buff with Inspire, but the fact that it buffs units as well, I suppose, is good enough. Lifesteal for 1 turn doesn't seem all that great. Okay, not overly confident this is going to go well at all. Especially as I have to draft the power myself. Nah, you can't be worried about influence and stuff like that. You're just in it for the freebies to start with. Get absolutely trounced and take it from there. So we've got all of our Strangers in, that'll cover some of our issues with influence. So these two give time, gives Fire and Justice. So I think we just put all of them in to begin with. Take at least 2 Inspires, 1 Harsh Rule to come back on the board if we fall behind. Having the extra ability to draw a sigil is probably going to be useful, having 4 factions. More card draw and a silence doesn't hurt either. So that's 18. Don't know how much of a good idea it is putting in all of these joint faction cards when, as I said, I'm going to have some issue with power. I think I'm probably going to want at least 18 power. I suppose I have to have at least a couple of Shadow now on the basis that that kind of forms the strongest synergy between these Strangers that I have. So where are we at? No, but did you have advanced deck building turned on when you did your draft? Because I suspect that's probably why I will need to pick them. Got to learn at some point, right? It's probably rubbish. I'm playing Iowinter, I want to play the Icebreaker as well. Don't have a whole lot of strong flyer minions, or any at all, I don't think. So probably going to want to play Violent Gust as well as an extra form of removal. So where does that leave us? Need so we go for 2 time. Yeah, well, I may end up regretting it, but I seem to think anywhere between 15 and 18 sigils. Probably even too many actually. Maybe 15 is a fairly safe bet. I don't have anything really that expensive in here, and a lot of the influence at least should be covered by these, provided I draw them. I really want 1 fire. So play 4 justice, 2 shadow. So that's 11 plus the influence I can gain from these guys. I think that's probably enough. Given that it's a 45 card deck, there's a 1 in 4 chance to draw a sigil at any point, and then we've got secret pages to draw and play one as well. Not entirely convinced it's enough, but we shall see. I'll play this one just because I want to see what it's all about, whether it continuously does damage over the turns or whether it kind of does damage once and then gets destroyed by a minion or something ridiculous. I want to take the Valkyrie Aspirant just so I have an option to get a bigger flying minion. Yeah, not convinced. Maybe I drop 1 torch just for a bigger minion. Okay. So do I get 5 free cards then? Okay, so it almost looks all good apart from the fact that I don't have a time sigil. Maybe not taking some of those banners will be a regret going forward. this doesn't look much better. Oh well. So I may need to play this monument just as an extra form of power at some point. That works. At least, well, hopefully if we can draw another one then we can play Wisdom of the Elders at least. Can't really silence that just to draw a card, seems like an overreaction. May silence the Warcry though. So if I silence it, I gain a card, which I'm probably desperately in need of at this point. Otherwise I just torch it. I can't torch it because I don't have a fire sigil, so I guess that's the only choice. Shockingly, I think I might lose. Good. So I could play this so that I go to 4 next turn, play this, but then because I need to then play this, I can't realistically play a minion on top of it as well, so there's no point in playing the Amethyst Monument. May as well just wait to play Secret Pages next turn and see if I draw another sigil as well. So what we've learned straight away is, as suggested, drawing a deck from every faction is probably not the best idea that you could come up with. Just had diamond chests in my eyes, you know. Just wanted to draft like 5 legendaries, get my chest, get out. It's not really going to pan out for me, I don't think. I'll get the chest. Everything else, not so much. So we do want to play a Fire Sigil. Plays it depleted, unfortunately, so I can't play the torch onto this, but oh hum. It's fine. We can play the torch in the Forsworn Stranger next turn, at the very least. Just can't deal with this guy yet. He's got a better idea. Just draw, play two factions, have plenty of sigils and power to play everything you want. Just hope he disconnects now so we can pull out a cheesy win. Nice. Can't play it though because I don't have the Shadow Sigil. Seems kind of bad though. Like, no point really keeping that in my hand. I may as well just played it earlier. Like to get a 5-mana minion. I assumed it got played out like as a 5-mana minion once you hit 5 power, in which case it's worth doing, but it seems kind of pointless now. So we can heal off this next turn, provided I don't die. Him having 2 damage is entirely outside the realm of possibility. Probably quite likely, in fact. Okay. Still in there, just about. Healer's Cloak will give me 5 health. Could get 4 extra health from the block, but it doesn't really seem... I say it doesn't seem worth it. I mean, I've got to deal with these spiders at some point. Play the Healer's Cloak, it just dies to one of these spiders anyway. Alright. Yeah. Didn't even think about the flying ones, did I? I think I thought, got a 7 win Forge under my belt. This will be easy. Just blast through draft, no problem. Maybe this guy's as greedy as I am. See, almost no hand is going to be keepable, I think, with my drafting method. Play these two, at least we get this eventually, right? Lesson definitely learned. 3 factions at most. Oh god, this is horrible. Anyway, I'll have another gold to do another one properly afterwards. Not just draft anything that looks good and not think about the power. Such an idiot. It sounded good in theory, just pick every card you kind of like, you get to keep it afterwards for constructive play, just see what happens. This happens. Can't even get to 3 to play this guy. Oh, it's sad. Yes, there we go. Back in the game. concede that one fairly safely. Probably concede the whole draft fairly safely. Did I play my Primal Influence there for the quest? Not sure. I'm sure I'll get it at some point. Not with this deck, but at some point in the future. Okay, here we go. Here we go, this is the hand. Nice. Even better. Oh, Swine as well, awesome. Let me just play this guy. See if he trades. He might have like a. Can't play a fast spell onto it or anything, so see if he blocks. Don't want to get overconfident, but it's looking good. We might pull out one win from this. Probably not. Like, I need a Primal Sigil really, so I can use Feeding Time on that guy. Though I suppose like 1/3/3 isn't going to end the game, especially as this keeps buffing these two as well. So happy with that. Especially if he keeps attacking right, so he can block. That can block one of these. That's probably going to block this. Let's throw these two at him. Whoa. No, I don't need to block it. This one isn't worth much, but it's an extra body. Nice. Got one. Not a complete failure after all. Probably wouldn't have happened without him offing my guys, but proud of that, happy. Probably shouldn't keep this hand, but it's the first time I've actually had a decent amount of sigils at the start of the game. I would only have one guy. I don't have a fire sigil to play the torch, so I can get one with the secret pages. Probably a terrible choice. Not wrong with it. So he gives me time and justice, so yeah, playing Primal was the right idea. Play the fire now, then I've got one of each. Question is whether I play that one for Shadow or play this one for another play it for another Primal, but I suppose that depends on what I draw really. I'll play it now. Just get a shadow out there. Seems like he's drawn fairly badly. While I'm this far ahead, I mean, he's only got 2 power, so realistically, I don't think he's going to catch up here, but I should probably hold mana now while I'm ahead on board for the spell swipe, so I can torch this. Probably should have seen what that did before I silenced it. Oh well. So hold the 5 mana now in case he plays a spell onto this. See, otherwise we'll just win the game. Happy days. So we've somehow managed to salvage this back to 2 wins and learned the lesson that you don't draft a deck from all 5 factions and expect to be able to do anything useful with the poor amount of sigil distribution that you have available, and you don't even take any kind of dual faction banners or anything like that. Inspiring just the Valkyrie seems bad. This seems worse. At least got the potential to just throw out sigils and then get this 3/3 at 5. Maybe. Aha. Nice. So provided that stays alive, then we definitely get to 5 power quickly. So that's what I'm getting next turn. Right? Okay. They take the top card from your deck then, I guess? Actually, I don't even know if I put one of these in, so maybe not. Maybe I thought I saw him play that, but in fact, that wasn't the card he took. He must have taken his torch. Hopefully he won't have any fire sigils and it won't be a problem. So we won't block there because then we play the time sigil, get to 5. Play Atlas Puma. Healer's Cloak onto it seems good as well. Plays around Thunderstrike at the very least. But Thunderstrike and block from this is a problem. Alternatively, that just blocks it and turns into a 2/2, but who really cares about that? Alternatively, I buff this, so I've got 2 3/3s and a more even distribution of power. I don't need the health right now, it's a bit of a waste, but yeah, we'll go with that. So if we're playing this field captain at some point when we eventually draw the sigils to play it, then obviously if I haven't attacked with anything, I've only guarded, then it's just a 1-5, which is pretty awful for 5. Need to get it to at least 3 or 4 attack for it to be worth playing. And here we go. No point attacking with these as it stands though, because this just blocks and kills one of them for free, and then the other 2 bit to block. He's left with a 3-4 and I'm left with nothing. So we can just pass that. Luckily for me, he seems to have a fairly similar drafting strategy, if you want to call it that, where he has a whole load of different sigils and doesn't seem to be playing much with them at the moment. However, if I don't start drawing Fire and Justice soon, then I'm in a bit of trouble. Or at least Primal, so that I can use the spell swipe on something. Okay. So I'm not too worried about that, silencing that effect off. It's the 2 attack or the 1 attack on this. Given the hand that I have at the moment, and the fact that I can't realistically stop him from attacking repeatedly, I think I've silenced the field captain. Again, he can just block and kill one of these, so do I just cash in on the lifesteal? Good enough. Still ahead, the 4-3 deals with the 3-4. Still desperately need to draw a sigil of some kind. That works. So I still don't want to attack here, even if the 3-4 blocks the 4-3. If I carry on blocking and I dictate what's happening, then at least in my mind, probably favours me somewhat, because my hand's garbage, as I say, at the moment. At least while we're not playing anything, we've got spell swiped. Now we've got that primal sigil activated, so if he does play anything decent, we can just nick it. That's rough. Really need to draw a fire sigil here so that I can torch this off. Otherwise, my board just dies for free. No such luck. Okay, so we can deal 5 damage to a flying unit, but that doesn't really seem worthwhile. Attack with this blocks, but at least we kill that before this dies. Or if we deal 5 damage to that, then this gets to attack and take off the relic and stay alive. Yeah, it was more useful than I thought when I first drew it. Okay, 7/7's a problem. Eye of Winter would be nice. No, we just have to hope to draw into a fire sigil here so that we can torch off one of these. Can't really be doing with taking 12 damage a turn. Rough. Harsh Rule or lose. Can't even play Harsh Rule either. I think we just lose here. 2, 4, so I'm on 2 health. He hasn't empowered that, so There's a very, very slim chance I survive. I need exactly the one that draws the sigil and plays it, and then to draw Harsh Rule, which isn't happening. Okay, lesson learned for next time. So, 2-3. At least we get the diamond chest and reach bronze in Draft League somehow from that. Okay, interesting. Now the big one. 2,000 gold, K, and 8 pack. Let's open this, then we should have enough gold here to do another draft, and hopefully draft something slightly more sensible this time.